Does anyone remember the time when Raven Software was allowed to work on their own IPs instead of contract work or Call of Duty? Like, imagine an original IP criticized for being too similar to games like Bioshock and Half-Life 2, two of the best representatives of the whole genre. Games being like Dark Souls nowadays is just an attribute it has, and we got the Dark Souls off meme out of it. And really, why not? The core gameplay is simple and addicting at the same time. The rewarding challenge gives talented programmers the possibility to add their own ideas to a base concept, and, at the very least, we got some anime boobies out of it. It's a shame such a strange sentiment led to this game being overlooked in reviews and by extension hurt its sales. Not that Activision's less than generous marketing concept held in that regard. Released a good decade ago, God that hurt saying, all the way back in 2010, you fill the role of the silent protagonist Captain Renko. You are tasked to do a recon mission on the newly discovered island base of Katorga 12. This military base was used as a top secret laboratory back in the Cold War, and seeing as your plane is brought down by an EMP in less than 5 minutes, it's safe to assume they weren't looking for a Russian McDonald's alternative. For a 10-year-old game, I think it looks okay. Most effects and designs range from good to serviceable, the textures tend to get a bit mushy at some places, and let's say a few more graphic options wouldn't have hurt the PC version. Katorga is no rapture, but it still manages to escape the brown military look old ego shooters tend to coat themselves in with glowing technology, mutants and more impressive late game locations. If we're talking about atmosphere, I'd say there are two things to consider. First, there's a lot of Cold War propaganda artwork, all UdSSR style, even the little cartoons and
биолог, а это Олесь Жужель, физик-ядерщик. Нас комендант к вам прислал, вот, вообще было все здесь здорово, пока вы появились. Ну что, мы...
Sitcoms. The other thrilling thing about the setting is the isolation and loneliness you feel while running through the deserted island, not unlike The Shadow over Chernobyl or Metro kind. Of course, this doesn't last long as we need things to shoot at fast. Mutants of all forms and sizes roam the island, and they are all wanting a piece of you. Years of prolonged exposure to the E99 Singularity created these fiends. Well, they kind of remind me of the Dead Space Necromorphs, only less visually stunning and a lot less threatening on the accord of being a heavily armored super soldier. It doesn't take long for you to realize that the whole Singularity thing has a lot to do with time travel and the, let's say, pretty grim consequences.
Right now. That's better.
What you say? That you only meant well.
The real gameplay loop starts as soon as you get your hand on the TMD device. This handy apparatus turns you from a marine into a time god, changing the age of enemies and objects with a flick of your hand. You unlock more abilities like mutating enemies or creating local time bubbles as soon as you progress in the story. It is also the TMD that allows you to choose different perks after you collect enough of the E99 resource while going through the Soviet base. But wait, there's more. You get telekinesis powers for free in case there's some physics-based puzzle or stuff to throw it back on enemies. Your gun arsenal features the weapons you expect from assault rifle, shotgun to sniper rifle. The most out there weapon is a railgun and a rifle that lets you move the bullet in a stop time. While not outstanding, shooting mercs and mutants alike feels satisfying. Not too small part for the time, pretty good damage feedback on the baddies. The highlight is your time powers anyway, and it will never be not satisfying seeing a broke down bridge fill itself up again while you turn back the clock. What worked in Time Splitters works here, kind of worked in Quantum Break, and apparently worked again in Control. They even throw in some boss fights that, while being basic, fulfill their part in being challenging tests of your time-related powers. The story is there, It's mostly a device to send you from location to location. Sometimes you need to go back into the past to get something. Still, you get some nice moments. My favorite section, although highly reminiscent of Resident Evil's Lickers, is the sewer level you get dropped in after a big shootout. Your low medkits, yeah, this game actually uses those, and ammo, and have to navigate your way through a lot of blind and dangerous foes. And there's also the obligatory stalker level.
Get out of here, stalker.
The game ends with a twist. You can call a mile away if you consumed any story with time travel in it, but still manages to surprise, as there are 3 endings to choose from, each holding some potential for a sequel. That won't ever happen. If people talk about the death of the 6 out of 10 original IP game, Singularity is what always pops into my mind. It's just fun. No monument in gaming history, but still worth playing for a small buck if you're interested in these types of games. I know I am. With Raven in developer jail, guilty of the failed to meet sales expectation crime, it is as dead as can be, but maybe someone has the same strange love for the adventure of Captain Ranker I have, and we could get a remaster with some nice upgraded graphics. But at last in this day and age, that would be a true Singularity.